Hello everyone, I am Professor Nayan Asne, Department of Information Technology, Parvatibai Kanba Mose College of Engineering, Vagoli. So in this session, we'll have the last topic of this third unit, that is planning your cost management. Cost includes everything which is given by for the development of your project. So the project cost management is traditionally a weak area of the IT projects, and IT project manager must have acknowledge the importance of the cost management and take the responsibility of for understanding the basic cost concept, cost estimating, the budgeting, and the cost control. So the project manager must understand the several basic principles of the cost management. Some of the concepts which are important in the cost management are profit and profit margin, then life cycle costing, then cash flow analysis, learning the curve theory. So planning the cost management involves the determining the policies and procedures and the documents which are used for planning, executing, and controlling the project cost. The main output of this process is the cost management plan. So estimating the cost is very important part of the project cost management. Each type of estimation is done during the different stage of the project life cycle. Some estimation is done at the initial stage while we are gathering the requirements, we are communicating with the stakeholders. Some estimation is done at the stage of your modeling and designing, and the later one, some estimation part is done at the end of when you are actually developing and delivering the product. So determine the budget involves all allocating cost to the individual work item over a time. So controlling the cost includes monitoring your cost performances, reviewing the changes, then notifying the project stakeholders by change of the different changes which are allocated or which are happening in the development phase. So that changes need to be shared with the stakeholders. Then we have a earned value management, which is a very important method which is used for measuring the project performance, which integrate the scope, cost, and the schedule information. So we have different points under the planning cost management. The first one is estimating cost. So estimating cost is indirectly it is not exact. That is, the software cost estimation and the effort estimation can never be exact. Why? Because there are different factors which affects the estimating cost, or there are different factors which affect the project cost. That can be a manpower, the equipment, the development environment, the political environment. So this factor affects overall the cost and efforts which are required to develop the project. So the cost estimation include the process or the methods that helps us predicting the actual cost and the total cost of the software. So the important parameter while considering the estimation are the cost, size, time, and the efforts which is required for developing the software. So these factors affect the cost of the project, and some parameters which are actually taken into the consideration for the estimation of the project are the size of the manpower or the size of the components, the time which is required to develop software, and the efforts which are taken by the persons or the resources to complete the project. So these factors need to be considered while you are calculating or estimating the cost for the project. We are actually comparing the actual cost and the pre-planned cost. So there are different two types of the cost estimation. The first is the problem based estimation, and second is the process based estimation. So we have seen these both in the previous sections only. So these two will based on the line of code per person and FP, that is a function point. So line of code and function point are data are generally used during the software project estimation in a different ways. So LOC per person month and FP per person month. This is the basic matrix which is created in the problem based and in process based to give the generalized idea about the which number of persons or number of line of code required for the persons per month. So it will give the generalized idea about the cost for per month. Then we have the different tools. So now in this scenario, today's environment, we have different tools and the techniques which are used actually for the cost estimation. So estimating the size or the resource is one of the most important topic in the software engineering and IT. So you should not deliver according to the expectation then if your plan if you don't have a good plan. So if you don't plan properly, you will not reach to the customer expectation. So the planning of the cost is very important for everything. Two most important ingredients for the proper estimations are the people and the historical data. They are interrelated more than you might expect, because most of the organization have the lack of the historical data. Thus, they form the estimation primarily through the analog experience, so which is not correct and which will not give the correct budgeting to the software companies. So we have different tools under the software estimation, so which are used for the estimating the software. The first one is the SLIM estimation. So it is a top-down approach that minimizes the input information required to proceed the fact base, and SLIM estimates is a high level of configuration. So different design processes are used by the developers by this method. And second one is the system star, which actually uses the two methods which we have seen previously. First is the COCOMO, that is a COCOMO 2 model, which we have seen for the cost estimation, and second is the COSYSMO, that is COSYS, co-system model. So constructive cost model, which is the system based. So these two models are used under the system star. Although we are talking about the IT cost estimation, there are typically some problems which encountered while we are talking about the IT cost management or IT project cost management. The first is that structural complexity, that is seeing how project fit together and how interdependency pose the risk and the uncertainness. Then second is the technical complexity, that is maturity of technology and how problems are solved through the designs and the process of the products. Then next is the directional complexity, that means alignment of the people's objective and the motivation. So that direct the software towards the particular instance, or that direct the software in a particular direction, so that impact the thing. And temporal complexity, that brings on the project parts or the components that are right time handling changes, then especially in the design as well as the cultural understanding time. So this some part of this complexity comes under while we are having cost estimation for the IT project. Structural will give you the interdependency risk, technical complexity will give you the design process and the product risk, then directional complexity will give you, or directional complexity will say the different directions of the different peoples toward the software project, and temporal complexity will give you handling of the components for the right time, for especially while we are designing or we are understanding the components. So these are some of the problems which encountered while we are having the cost management. So this was your last topic of the third unit that contains the cost estimation. So we have completed likewise the 3 units of your software engineering and project management subject. So again I will repeat which are the points which we have covered in this unit, that is the project planning. So we have first initially gone with the project initiation, then your project scope management, then creating the work breakdown structure, that is nothing but the hierarchy, then effort estimation and scheduling, the importance of project scheduling, then estimating the resources, estimating the activity durations, developing a schedule using the Gantt chart, then adding the milestone to the Gantt chart. We have actually seen the different examples with the chart of the same. Then tracking the Gantt chart to compare the plan and actual dates. Then we have seen the critical path method, the program evaluation and review technique, that is a PERT. Then we have seen planning the cost management, estimating the cost management, type of the cost management, and the tools which are used for the cost management, and typical problems which I have just spoken with you. So these things are covered in third unit. So I think the things are understand. So if you have any problem, you can comment in comment box, or you can ask me a Zoom session. Might be from tomorrow we'll start with the Zoom session. We'll conduct 2-3 Zoom sessions for the same unit, so it will be easy to interact with you and easily understand. So thank you.